Okay, this is the problem I just left off on, and we talked about addition and the two ways of writing this. And again, we can discuss more in class on different ways of writing the sum. Looking at this next example, I have subtraction in it. So let's talk about the different ways that we can write subtraction. One way that we could write subtraction is to say a number n minus 8. And that's pretty straightforward, it's just reading it right across. The harder one would be using the statement less than. We would say 8 less than, it's almost like you're saying 8 is less than, so you're taking 8 away, 8 less than a number n. Again, we can talk about more ways on how to write these expressions in class. The third example I have has division in it, so we're looking for words for divide. So let's say, the first one we could say a number x divided by 8, or we could say another word we could use is quotient. So the quotient of x and 8. Moving on to example number 4. Example number 4 has negative 4y. So let's go ahead and write down ways we can write multiplication. So we could say just simply negative 4 times y. Or we could say the product of negative 4 and y. Alright, the next thing I'd like to do is I want to translate, and I know I skipped number 5, and that's fine, it's just more division. Translate from words to algebra. So this one talks about giving you something in words here. It says John types 62 words per minute. Write an expression for the number of words he types in minutes. So let's just think about this logically, first of all, to figure out what operation I need to use. Now, some of you may already know, but if you don't know, that's okay. If you talked about in 1 minute how many words he would type, you would say that in 1 minute he'd type 62 words. In 2 minutes, he would have an additional 62 minutes. So you would be saying, add another 62 on here, you'd get 124. For minute number 3, he'd have an additional 62 minutes, so you'd add on another 62 minutes, and you would get 186. Now, in order to write an expression for this, okay, every time what's going on is that he's increasing 62 words every minute. So in minute 1, 1 times 62 is 62. Plug in 2 for 2 minutes, 2 times 62 is 124. Plug in 3, 3 times 62 is 186. So on and so forth. So this would be the correct expression for the statement. The next statement I have is Roberto is 4 years older than Emily, who is y years old. Write an expression for Roberto's age. So Roberto is 4 years older than Emily. We could just come up with a random problem for this. We could say Emily is 5. Well, that makes Roberto be 9. Maybe Emily is 10. That means Roberto would be 4. So what you're really doing is you're taking Emily's age, so you're taking Emily's age, and you're adding 4. So we'll just make up a variable for us. We'll just call her E. E plus 4, that would be the expression for Roberto's age. The next example I have here says Joey earns $5 for each car he washes. Write an expression for the number of cars Joey must wash to earn D dollars. So he wants to let's make up a problem. Let's say he wants to make $50. Well, I know in order to get to $50, I'd have to wash 10 cars. Let's make it a little simpler. Let's say he only wants to make $10. Well, that means you need to wash one car for $5 and another car for $5. That would be $10. What are we doing in order to figure this out? Well, we're taking the amount of money he wants to make, dollars, and we're dividing it by 5 to figure out how many cars he would need to wash. The last type of problem that you guys are going to be dealing with today is evaluating expressions. Before I go into this, let's just take a quick break, and we'll come back to this in video 3.